What line of work are you in?
Waste management consultant.
Broken, the boat's coming through.
I'll give you a fucking bone, you prick! Where's my fucking money?
I don't think you can smoke.
Who's gonna complain? Huh? Him?
I don't give a shit what he says.
What happens I decide, not you?
This is overdue.
I'm in the waste management business. Everybody immediately assumes you're mobbed up. It's a stereotype, and it's offensive.
Yo, what is going on, everybody? This is Josh Roman with American AF Dumpster Rentals in Dallas. New spot, new location, this is the official podcast room now. The official American AF, I don't know what you call it, podcast room anyways. Man, Tony Soprano is a guest on the channel. No, I'm not. I'm just kidding. It's not Tony Soprano, but we do have a guest. We're going to talk about him in a second. But oh man, first of all, thank you guys for being here. This is probably literally one of the most important lives that I've done so far, and I feel like it's just one of many. Like it's going to be one of many more. Not just live streams that we're going to talk about this, but an entire playlist is now going to be dedicated. My entire goal now is going to be not my entire goal, but one of my main goals is going to be to fight this crap, fight the insanity of the monopoly that our government, our local governments are doing to us. Anyways, they're literally stealing from us, guys. They're literally stealing from us, and we're going to talk more about that here in a minute. But check out the new digs, man. I'm loving it. I actually went to At Home. It's a store in Arlington. Bought the seats. I literally did the entire decorating myself, which is freaking insane. And these plants back here, I've got one here and one over there. Literally the first plants I've probably ever bought in my life. And if my wife is watching, she could probably, she could probably attest to that. But anyways, hope you guys are doing okay this Wednesday. Hope you guys are doing good. Hope business is good. Things are slowing down around here. I mean, it's kind of the way things go. But we're not here to talk about business today. I mean, we're going to talk about business, but it's not going to be the normal Wednesday stuff. I want you guys to please like. I want you guys to hit that thumbs up. I want you guys to share because we need as many people, we need as many eyes on this situation as we possibly can. We are in a fight, y'all. We are like literally in a dog fight. And I've been against it since day one. Don't get me wrong. However, it's come to my front door now. It's literally come, and it's come to me personally, where my dumpster got impounded. The city of Mesquite has taken my dumpster and are holding it ransom in exchange for only $400, which I believe I'm probably past the 10 days now. I still haven't picked it back up. If that's what you got, if you guys are looking for an update, I have yet to pick it up. Sounds muffled. Let me back this up a little bit. Turn this down a little bit. I have not picked my dumpster back up. I have left it there. I was waiting for Charles. If you watched my video, I was waiting for Charles to answer me, basically to let me know where he got $2,000 from, where he got that, because it's nowhere in the ordinance. I was waiting for an explanation from him. And I didn't get one until today when I decided to talk to him about it and email him again for a second time. And he sent me an ordinance. And again, the ordinance says nothing about the $2,000 that he threatened us with. So at the end of the day, I believe it's just them using scare tactics and them, threatening and using whatever they can to get us to do what they want us to do. So anyways, I've got a guest today. He is from Dodge City, Texas. He is going to talk a little bit about his story. And guys, if any of you are in the same boat, if any of you guys have fought your cities, if any of you guys have had your stuff impounded, gone to court, if you've whatever it is, if you have a story, tell us what's up. Tell us your story. There is a Facebook group that I have now dedicated to this entire mindset of our local government, not just here in Texas, because it's not just a Texas thing, it's a lot of other states as well. If you've been a victim of this, there is a Facebook group now dedicated. It is going to be in the um, pinned to the first comment here. Um, Join that Facebook group and let's do what we can. We have a plan. It's loosey goosey still. But we're working on it. And I believe me when I tell you that I will not give up because this is complete injustice in my eyes. And I know it's been happening for decades. I know it's been happening for years and decades and all that stuff. I know it's been happening for quite a long time. I am definitely not the only one that this has happened to. However, since I have a platform, I feel like I need to use it for in whatever way that I possibly can to try and get us all to unite and fight this shit at the end of the day. So, hope you all like the intro. I spent several hours on it today, or a couple hours on it today, working on it. But I was trying to put the city of Mesquite and in our guests, in his case, the city of Bonham, Texas, well, like on Tony Soprano's forehead, but I couldn't get the video to quite do that. But anyways, without further ado, I'm gonna go ahead and bring him on. Help me welcome Daniel Weeks. Daniel, what's going on, man?
What's happening? Thanks for having me.
Liberty Sanitation out of Dodge City, Texas. Can you tell us exactly where roughly Dodge City and Bonham is?
We're about 80 miles northeast of Dallas, about 10 miles from straight up Highway 121.
Awesome. Okay. Well, why don't you? I mean, tell us first of all a little bit about your business. How long you've been in business? What you mainly do, and then we'll go from there.
Well, I've been doing open top roll off since around 2018, and I was a contractor building houses and stuff, and dealing with the monopoly up here. There was only two companies, and got into that, and then eventually in 21 I bought out some smaller weekly companies, so we have a weekly route now, commercial and residential, and then still fighting the open top game.
Okay. Is there? Well, you talk about weekly. Is you're only fighting the open top? The weekly is not regulated or controlled?
Not out in the country. You can't get in the city, but I've looked. The state statute for Texas clearly gives cities and counties the right to have franchise agreements for weekly and monthly services.
Right. Okay. Well, let's talk a little bit about your story then. So you've been in business again. I'm sorry. Remind me again. When did you start?
2018 is when I started hauling roll-offs.
Okay. So you've been in business since 2018 doing roll-offs, and I mean, walk us through what your first interaction was with the city, your first negative interaction, I guess you can say.
I'd say around 2019, 2020, I started getting get a letter or an inspector from a town, various towns, mainly Bonham. Hey, you got to remove your dumpster. Then it was a $500 fine. And my first real interaction with them, went to have a meeting with the city of Bonham, the main inspector, Mark Posey, and the city planner, Mark Kennard. And we just met there in the hallway at City Hall. And I told him, I said, man, I kind of looked this up. Section H of the statute excludes open top dumpsters. It doesn't say open top, but construction dumpsters from the franchise agreements. And they just told me basically I was an idiot. And I said, well, F off. I'm going to run. Catch me. And that same year, October 11th, they had a city council meeting and changed their fine from $500 to $2,000. And then on October 22nd, I had a ticket in the mail for $2,000 for having a dumpster in town, and we went to court November 11th of 21. This is all in 21. Well, the city judge, the first week going to court, tells the inspectors that I was right and that they couldn't do that. It was illegal. The next week, we met with the city attorney. He tells them the same thing. Hey, that's illegal. Y'all cannot do that. He's right. There was Section H. He goes, but instead of making a ruling on it, he just dismissed it and told us to go out in the hallway and work it out. I mean, this is coming from a city attorney. It's pretty unprofessional. Well, we go out in the hallway, and the inspectors just kept repeating themselves. You can't have them in Bonham. You can't have them in Bonham. We got a contract. And that was it. So we left, no ruling, nothing. And I just kept running. Well, in the meantime, they quit threatening me and threatened the customers. So I would drop a dumpster, and within a day, I get a call from a customer, hey, the city's threatening me with a $2,000 fine if you don't pick this up. And so I would tell them, hey, hurry up and fill it up, and I'll come pick it up, and just trying to work the system.
Were they allowing a certain amount of time? Like, would they say you had to have it picked up within 24 hours? Or
they would always threaten them just now. You got to come pick it up now. But if they ever give them a letter, it would say 24 hours or 10 days. And I don't have any of the letters from the customers. That's just what they told me. Any letter they've given me was 10 days. But I've only got the first letter where where we went to court. And then I recently got a letter in November of this year. So we went to court last week.
Let's go back real quick. We'll touch on that in a minute. So going back, you said October 21st, they changed their ordinance from $500 to $2,000. And then literally the next day, you got a ticket for $2,000?
October 11th, they changed that ordinance. 11 days later, I had received a ticket in the mail. So that means 3 to 5 days prior to me they changed that ordinance and sent me a ticket.
They changed the ordinance mainly because of you. I mean, that's kind of what
I can't tell you how singled out I feel. I just drove around town after going to court last week and took a picture of 8 different dumpsters all over Bonham. One of them directly across the street from where mine was sitting. Nobody else got a ticket but me.
So there are other dumpster companies in your city. Like, have you tried to work with them, like kind of cooperating with them in order to go after the city, or are they just not trying to poke the bear?
I've always kind of been a solo guy, so I've just tried to work myself and do it. But you're the first person, other than that buddy of mine I was telling you about earlier that was the mayor, that I've ever reached out to about this. I've always just done it by myself. And that's why I reached out to you. I'm tired of doing this by myself in court. We got to do something different.
So it's crazy that the video that I put out the other day, I believe I've gotten at least 20 phone calls on it, between phone calls, Facebook messages, DMs, and of people that are in or have been in a situation, have been threatened, have been impounded, have gone to court. But it's all over the entire state. So your story was a little bit unique because you actually went to court. Apparently they dismissed it, right? You didn't win or lose, but it was dismissed. And then now let's start. What did they do as of like last week or the week before Thanksgiving?
So the week prior to Thanksgiving, they had sent me a letter the week prior to that. Hey, you got a dumpster in Bonham. You don't have a franchise. Here's your citation for it. It's a $2,000 per day fine. And my dumpster had been there for, I think they said 21 days. Well, that was my own property that dumpster was sitting on. And we cleaned up. That property was trashed. I probably hauled 15 dumpster loads of trash off that property and had one sitting there. And I had one of my storage pods sitting there too. But I go to City Hall and give them the opportunity to drop the ticket. I said, hey, that's my property. Even according to you guys, that's legal. If I'm doing the job and it's my dumpster, and they still, nope, it's shouldn't have it there. And I told my wife, I said, they're gonna say it's a zoning violation. Watch. Well, we went to court Thursday before last, the 21st, and pled not guilty, so we have another court date in January. And excuse me. On the 21st, the day we went to court for that franchise ticket, they wrote me another certified letter for a zoning violation that I got the day after Thanksgiving. They gave me 10 days to get my storage pod off my own property. I'm assuming it was a storage pod. It just said zoning violation. But they gave me 10 days to get it off, and that was the day after Thanksgiving was the 10th day. And I got it off Monday, but I feel like there's just no end to the bullying tactics of what they're doing.
Right. So they literally charge you twice for the same offense. Is that what I'm hearing?
I've got the ticket and the court date for the franchise agreement violation, and that's in January, the second one, anyways. And I just recently got the letter that is that's the letter they give you, the threat right before they give you the citation.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I received the day after Thanksgiving. I haven't received a citation yet for that. I don't know if I will or not.
And you remove the ship. And again, this is on your own. This is even worse because it's on your own property. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's on. I have a bunch of lots in Bonham because, like I say, I used to build houses and stuff. But yeah, it's on my own property that I have spent a ton of money cleaning up.
Man. So who do you feel is the main person behind all of this? Like, is there one city inspector? Is there one city manager? I mean, is it one person in particular, or is it just you just don't know and it's just
Well, I feel it's the whole city because when it first happened, I spoke in front of the city council, and there's one guy, the main inspector, Preacher Man Posey, I like to call him because he's a preacher on the side. When I walked in the building to the city council meeting, he went and individually spoke to every city councilman. And about 5 of us got up and spoke, and I was the only one that was not addressed when I spoke. So I knew he told them not to talk to me, whatever. But it's
what did you talk on at the city council meeting? What was your
about the legalities of the franchise agreement? And I did my homework. I'm not doing the city's homework. I told them they need to do it. They need to look into this. There's state statutes that prohibit this. Basically what I stood up at the city council meeting and said, and just asked for a little help from the city council to work. I'm a five generation guy from this area, and I just want to work in my home area.
So here's a comment. I got a comment on my video, or I believe today or yesterday, that he kind of touched on exactly what I've been thinking. That regardless how many people we get, we're hoping. We'll talk about what we're looking at, or your idea was to possibly do to push this forward. But regardless how many people we get, we're just dumpster guys. We're just dumpster company owners. But what we need to do also, on top of what we want to do, is really just spread the word out to the actual homeowners. I don't think that many homeowners actually know that they're getting screwed. You mentioned earlier off camera, and I think I'll let you talk about it now a little bit, but how expensive the city dumpster is compared to yours. And that's how it is everywhere, because the city is pocketing 20 to 40 to even 50% probably. I don't even know. But pocketing a boatload of money and lining their own pockets. So on top of us getting together and fighting for it, I wish there was a way that we could get the word out even more to all these homeowners, to the citizens, and just let them know, like, hey guys, we as homeowners, because in my city, I live in the county, so I don't even live in the city, but my city, if I lived there, also has a franchise agreement, and we're getting screwed. We're just completely getting screwed. So, how we spread the word out, besides going to like community Facebook pages, our local Facebook pages, and just kind of putting it out there and saying, hey guys, Bonham, hey, listen up, Bonham, like you guys are getting screwed royally by the city because, I don't know what the franchise company is in your city, but let's say Republic or Waste Management, they're charging Waste Connections.
Yeah.
So yeah, Waste Connections is literally right here in the city where I'm at. where my shop is at. But waste, you're just getting screwed. You're spending, 40, 50, 60% more than what you should comparably to what you would if it was me. So do you want to avoid that? Like, take a group of people, take a group of citizens and keep going to the city council meetings over and over and over again. Maybe that might help. I don't know. Maybe it's just I'm living in a fairy tale world, but how much more are they in your city compared to what you charge?
Oh, well, my on the open top dumpsters, what I would charge $425 for, they charge $836 for. On a weekly,
Almost double.
yeah, yeah, almost double. On a weekly 2 yard dumpster, my brother is manager of a bank up there. He pays $185 for a weekly pickup. We charge out in the country on our weekly pickup 2 yard dumpsters $85. So it's crazy.
Yeah.
The amount of markup they got, even on the residential hand stops. I think they're charging the citizens like $26 for a town of 10,000 people. I mean, that's ridiculous.
Yep. So let's talk about a little bit what you talked about when we spoke over the phone and what your kind of idea was is yeah, we can get lawyers, we can spend a boatload of money all over again on lawyers, which I also am working on getting a lawyer. But you had another idea. Why don't you go ahead and talk about that a little bit?
What I would like to do, and the sole reason I reached out to you, was we have a pretty unique opportunity with the new representative that was elected for us. She became real popular during COVID when she took a stand to keep her salon open, basically due to government tyranny shutting her down. Shelley Luther, she was nationwide famous for that, and she's local here. And I don't want to go to her with one person having a problem. I want to go to her with, hey, we've got 200 dumpster businesses all over Texas that have this problem. And if we can band together and get some type of petition going at least, or maybe a small political pack of some kind, I don't know. Like you said, it's very loosely formed right now. But that was my thoughts. And then I could try to approach her with a plan. Let's get this fixed.
So Shelley Luther, and for those of you guys that aren't aware of her story, during COVID, pre-COVID, she owned a hair salon, and she refused to close down during COVID. One of very few that completely refused to close down, continued to do her haircuts or whatever she did in her salon. I don't know. And she was arrested, very publicly arrested. They actually, I think it was even proven, or it was accused that the police notified the news stations before they went to go arrest her, so that the news stations were there while they arrested her to make kind of a public example out of her. I believe, right? I don't know if that was. I believe.
I don't know that, but it was a spectacle. It was a big publicity deal both ways.
Yeah.
Worked out really well for her.
It did. I'm sure at the time she didn't think it was going to work out really well, but it did at the end. So she ran on that. She literally ran on that. If you look at her website, it's against government overreach is one of her main things that she talks about. She is the epitome of a perfect example of somebody that we can go to and tell her our story, and not just our story, like you said, the story of so many other people, so many other companies that are, and homeowners. Again, dumpster people would be great, 200 something dumpster people. But if we can get an entire city, not entire city, but we get a ton of citizens in a city to sign a petition, you know what I'm saying, and say, hey, look, we don't want to be limited with just one company. We don't want to live in a monopolistic city where we're only allowed to choose one trash company for all waste, not just trash pickups, but I'm talking about, obviously dumpsters, front end loads, all that stuff, even recyclables now, right? So if we can get something like that put together, that would be ideal. And like I said, like you said, she would be the perfect person to present that to, and hopefully we get some sort of change on the state level. Because here's the deal: what I'm finding is I don't care. Today it's Mesquite and it's Bonham for you. Tomorrow it's going to be 150 other cities. It's not. It's not just because if you were to win versus Bonham, if I were to win versus Mesquite, that does not change anything because at the end of the day, each individual city has their own ordinances, and it's not going to change unless it's changed on a statewide basis. So Mesquite might change their ordinance for a little bit, but that there's just too much money that is lining the pockets of these people that they're not going to voluntarily make a change just because one city lost a lawsuit. Um, and the other thing is, let's be honest, right? The reason why these big boys aren't suing each other, you don't see Management suing Republic versus Waste Connections or any of the other ones, is because they all don't want to poke the bear either. They don't want Waste Management doesn't want to go and sue Republic because Republic's in one city and they want to get in there because at the end of the day they know that Republic is gonna. It's a what is it called a good boy effect. They know that Republic is gonna. They're not going to sue each other because they don't want to each lose their own territories.
Yeah,
they're all in bed together.
It's a good old.
Say again.
It's a good old boy club, and we ain't in it.
Absolutely, and the thing is too, like the other thing that I've seen is just that there's a lot more individual roll off or trash companies out there nowadays. It's getting more. Obviously, it's more popular. It's just more. There's a lot more trash guys out there, independent, small, company-owned trash guys. You didn't see that back in the 90s or 2000s or early 2000s. You know what I'm saying? You didn't see that. Lately, there's a big influx of entrepreneurs getting into the waste industry. And I think a lot of it, I think we're going to be raising a lot of red flags. I just think it's going to be really ruffling a lot of feathers, and this is just the beginning of something pretty big. So I don't know. That's my opinion. My whole goal again is to get as many people as we can to hear our stories, know what's going on, and hopefully join us in this fight to fight this, especially here in Texas. But it's a lot of other states as well. So if you're in another state that does this same thing, I know California does. I believe Florida does. I've heard Illinois does, but put it in the comments. Let us know, and make sure you join that Facebook group. It's just to get you more aware, and so hopefully, if there is a petition, if there is something we can do in the future, we put it out in the group, and we can all kind of join together and kind of go back and forth again on our stories on what we've been through.
Yeah, no, I'm going to approach her anyways, but I just wanted to reach out to do this to try to have a bigger sword to go to her with,
Absolutely. When is your court case?
It's sometime in January. They're supposed to let my lawyer know. The attorney was out of town for Christmas. I don't know. He was out of town for like a month. So I wish I got that kind of time off.
Oh yeah, I would be. And again, you're going to court on not on the franchise violation, right? The actual
right.
ticket?
I haven't received the actual citations for the franchise agreement violation. I have not received a citation yet for the zoning violation. Which
how much is a ticket for the franchise?
It's up to $2,000 per day. And they're saying that my dumpster was there for 21 days. So it could be, $42,000? So, but like you said a while ago, a city, they're not going to change because one city got sued or this happened over here. Well, my local city didn't change, and I still proved them wrong in court, and they still didn't change. That's how arrogant these people are.
But there was no ruling. Unfortunately, the judge didn't rule against it. He didn't. He just kind of dismissed it. But even if, like you said, even if he ruled against it, I'm sure they would have found a different way to word it. And until it's done on a state level, they're just going to keep on doing it. I'd be interested what your lawyer would think if people showed up in support, because I'd be willing to make the drive.
I don't know. It's a real small room. Like I said, we're a real rural area. But I mean, I'd welcome it for sure, But I don't know. I don't know anything about that stuff, so I can't really speak on it.
Let me know. Dan Jensen, man. Yo. What is going on? Good evening from up here in Wisconsin. It's cold up there. I heard y'all got some snow a few days ago, man. Dan, appreciate you being here. We're going to go through some comments real quick, Daniel. Dylan, what's going on? Tuning in live from the shop this time, not the gym. So this guy is a gym aholic, and the guy watches the live streams all the time from the gym or his pool. So I'm surprised he's actually in the shop. Dylan, man, appreciate you being here, brother. Cade, what's going on, man, from Southeast Texas? What's up, brother? Yo, Ryan from South Florida. What's up, man, with a bright orange shirt? Stiggs. Howdy from Northwest Lower Michigan, man. Hope all is well with you and the family. I hope y'all, everybody, what was last week Thanksgiving? Was that last week already? Hope everybody had a good Thanksgiving because I haven't been on here since then, I believe. Nice new intro. Glad you liked it, man. Anna, what's going on? How is everyone doing this week? From Gator Dumpsters in San Antonio. Love the new intro. Appreciate that. Daniel, the dumpster helper. This is another guy who's also on YouTube, Daniel. Well, both of you are Daniel, but Daniel Weeks. He also, hopefully we can get as many people to talk a little bit about this on their channels. No pressure, Daniel. Anna Lee, nice new setup. Thank you. Thibodeau says I sounded muffled. That's the only most comments I usually don't pay attention to until I go through them, but this one popped out and I was like, muffled. And I had to move it back around. Glad he was just kidding, though. Junk zombies, how can they go on private property and take something? So, Daniel, have they threatened to, they've fined you or they've ticketed you, but have they ever threatened to actually go on the property and remove or impound your dumpster?
They haven't personally done it, but it's funny you said that because I had all the stuff from my original case in 21. And then they modified their ordinance in April of 2022, giving the city or Sanitation Solutions permission to repo my dumpster or impound, whatever.
When you
but
say
they haven't threatened it.
When you say Sanitation Solutions, that's not Waste Connections.
That is Waste Connections. Waste Connections owns that company. They bought them out about 3 years ago.
So the city ordinance gives another private company the authority to go tow your dumpster. Is that what you're saying?
And destroy it at my expense.
Destroy it?
Yeah, I got that here somewhere, how that's worded. Sorry.
After so many days, destroy it?
Yeah, they have to have it for X amount of days, but they can destroy it, and then whatever charges I have to pay. I'm trying to figure out where that's at. I may be here for a minute looking for that one.
To give another company the authority to go on to somebody else's private property, that it just boggles my mind. They're giving another company the authority to go onto somebody's private property and remove your dumpster. Unbelievable.
Well, the city of Greenville did the same thing when Blackjack took over. They got real hardcore about the dumpsters over there. I don't get to Greenville much, but they gave essentially, I read it in the newspaper, and essentially they deputized the drivers of Blackjack to be able to, I guess, write a citation. The wording of the newspaper article was kind of vague, but they used the word deputized for illegal dumpsters.
Don't get me. So Blackjack. Let's talk a little bit about that. They are here in certain cities in Terrell. I have heard stories. I have not personally been involved with Blackjack or had any dealings with Blackjack, but I believe Blackjack started just like many of us, a very small company. I believe, and they've grown into a pretty big company. And that I may be wrong, but that's what I heard, at least.
Oh yeah, he was real small. I'm talking 5-6 years ago. He blew up fast.
So I was at lunch, one of my luncheon guys. So we do a networking meeting once a month with the local guys here. And one of them showed me his phone, and he got a text message from Blackjack to his cell phone. He had no idea how the guy got his cell phone number, but he threatened the guy from Blackjack threatened a local guy here that he had to remove his can, and that he was going to send him a cease and desist letter to remove his dumpster from their city. So Blackjack was one of us, and Blackjack has now turned into one of them. And there are cities that don't enforce their franchise agreements, but allow their dumpster companies to go ahead and enforce it. And apparently, that's what Blackjack is doing. Is they are the ones that are enforcing it. So when you say, it's funny that you say they deputize them to give citations, because while I don't think he threatened them to give him a citation in this city, and this is, I believe it was in Terrell or something like that, he definitely threatened him to cease and desist, to remove the can, or they would remove it. I mean, he basically pulled out all the stops just like the city would. And this was one of us, I guess you can say.
I think that's probably more accurate explanation of what that article is talking about. So
Unbelievable. WC Dumpsters, what's up, everybody? Eddie from Charlotte, North Carolina. Like the new office set. Thank you, man. I appreciate that, man. This real quick. Elite Thibodeau saying, just kidding. Thibodeau, Daniel called you out and said that you needed to do a new live very soon. So if you're still here, I'm also calling you out and saying, where's your next live, brother? Because I'm going to give you some crap. Sorry, I'm late, Elite Dumpsters. Just picked one up, man. Hey, make that money, brother. Make that money. Delaware Diamond Dumpsters, what's going on? The Triple D. Back Road Bound. Hate that for you. Government just keeps taking from the working class and extending its reach. Keep fighting. We plan to do so. I really do plan to do so. Dana says California screwed on the franchise agreement packs. Absolutely. And to be honest with you, this doesn't even feel like Texas. This is not a Texas thing. Like, I have been a proud Texan since the day we moved here in 2007. 100%. And this isn't even this isn't a Texas thing, really. This is a local government thing, I believe. This is a local municipality. I understand to a certain extent the weekly trash pickups. I understand that a lot of times these companies, you pay your weekly trash pickup through your city water bill or your electric bill, whatever it may be, and it's considered almost like a utility. I get that. I also understand that they don't want trucks driving up and down alleys, clogging up the alleyways, tearing up the alleys, and doing the weekly trash pickups like that. However, the open tops, the temporary construction, the recyclables, dirt, concrete, all that is absolutely ridiculous. And it just not Texan to me. I don't know. This feels like California. T. Durbin finally caught it live. Hello from Wichita Falls. What's up, man? Appreciate you being here, man. You caught a good one, I think. About to order my first roll-off trailer and boxes. Absolutely. Congrats, man. Congrats. Hope it all works out for you. If you're looking for a hook lift trailer, I'm selling one. I'm selling several. I've also got a Max D dumpster as well, or Max D roll-off. Anybody's looking, just decided to plug that in there. Daniel, what do you haul? What do you use? What kind of trucks? What's your setup?
Load trail, and I got an F650 we haul them with, and a gooseneck, for the others.
Okay, so you've got a load trail roll off trailer. Yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah, I just I live like 15 miles from Load Trail's factory and PJ's factory and nice. Max D's up here.
Nice. All right. David Roberts says Alabama is so backwards they cite the 1901 Constitution as having a legislature action of guarantee for forcing these municipalities to actually engage in franchise agreement. 1901. I'd have to look that up.
Yeah.
Todd Watson, hope everyone is doing well. Still busy, keeping the pedal to the metal. Absolutely, brother, man. These big companies are all politician companies, we will never win because the city officials, code enforcement, and inspectors, all they do is threaten us with it's their way or their way. Um, so here's the thing: I've gotten several comments like this, and I just refuse to just roll over and let them just screw me. I just refuse, and it may be a pipe dream. I don't know, but I don't think it is. I think that there could be change. I think that we just need enough momentum behind us, and we have to go to the right people and go to the right channels. Um, because again, if it feels this wrong, it can't be right. You know what I'm saying? Like it just can't be. Um,
I mean, I'm with you, but in the amount of research I've done on this, it looks like somebody or maybe three people from Waste Connections, Republic, and Waste Management wrote the state statute and ordinances for these laws. It's like so when a local government has to spend over 50,000, they have to do what they call a competitive bidding process in Texas. It has to go out for bid. You know what's excluded from that? Trash.
hmm.
So they could go out. It could be $1 million contract, and they just take whatever bid they want. It doesn't have to be competitive. So, and
I
that's
mean,
Texas law.
what other service, what other product um, has a hold on governments, on local municipalities like this? Like other than water, right? Which I mean, nobody can just get into the water business and provide water to city residents. But as a homeowner, I'm just trying to think of what services I use, and I can't think of any that I am forced to just use one. Not even like I mentioned in my video. Not even the electric company. I believe it's TXU or one of them own the power lines, but I still have the right to choose what electric company I use, regardless of who owns the power lines. How can I can't think of any other industry, any other service that I use that I am forced to just use one. That's literally the definition of a monopoly.
No, I can't either. It's ridiculous what it's happening. I talk to my electrician friends and plumber friends, and like, how would y'all feel if the city said, nope, got to use Joe Blow's plumbing over there, can't use yours, get out of
Mm-hmm.
town? I was like, it's ridiculous to think that.
Guys, in the comments, let me know. Am I wrong? Are we wrong? Is there any other services that we're not thinking of that we are forced to use? I mean, internet, like you said, plumbing, electric, all that stuff. There's nothing that I am forced to use again other than water. But Heath Morgan, new on here. Glad to hear about the movement. I appreciate that, man. Make sure you join. VPS Dumpster Reynolds Vega. What's going on, man? From Rockmart, Georgia. The situation with the cities is awful. My case is I tried to buy a property for my business, and two cities around me have not approved me for unknown reasons. So Vega makes a good point. When I was looking for a new building or a building, I went and I found the perfect property in Ennis. Literally, it's probably 5 miles, 7 miles from here, in Ennis, Texas. And it was right off I-45 across the street from Buc-ee's. Lots of good visibility. The price was right. The building was right, and it was great. But it wasn't city limits. And I was told by the realtor before he would take my letter of intent that I had to obviously, contact the city and make sure that my company would be approved as a servicer. And I read through the ordinances or whatever they're called, the stuff to what's approved, what's an approved city, what's not. Like the light industrial manufacturing, all that stuff, to see if my company would fit. And everything from what I could see said my company would be fine. I'd be able to run a roll off business / sell trailers, have a little trailer dealership there. Perfect location. And anyways, long story short, I reached out to the city. I told them what I was doing. I told them what my company was. And the second they saw that we were a dumpster company, they responded with, "We are a closed city. You are in city limits. We do not want your type." Literally, they said your type of business in our city limits. And we're letting you know now that you would have to go get a special use permit to operate, to get your occupancy permit for that building. And we're letting you know now of the, I think he said, I'd have to look it up, but I think he said of the 6 council members, I've already talked to 5, and none of them will approve you. So there's no point in even trying. So, and now they have a small engine repair shop there, which is apparently a better fit for what they envisioned off of the I-45 corridor across the street from Buc-ee's than a trailer dealership slash, a dumpster company. So, talk about not feeling welcome, right? Talk about not, just turning away business from a city.
Yeah, I've had it happen. We have some rental properties too, and I was going to buy a house in a town close to me, and they knew I was going to put it in a rental. And I called the guy, hey, I want to do some remodels. The mayor of the town. Up here, he's still straight with the mayor because the towns are so small. And he goes, we don't want you in Wyndham. That was his exact words. And I was like, you know what? I don't want to be there. Click.
Right. Right. I mean, I pay I pay property taxes just like anybody else. You know what I'm saying? Like, how is my business not welcome in your city? Whatever. It is what it is. Dan Clapper, hello from Washington. What's up, man? Appreciate you being here, Dan. OG. Daniel Harrison, I'm about to start running dumpsters again. Okay, congratulations.
That's the guy. That's the old mayor guy I was telling you about.
Is he?
Yep, that's him.
Well, then we need his help, man. I had no idea. So that's kind of interesting. If you're still watching, Daniel, if you have any insight on how we can combat this, I would love to hear it.
He can help us get in touch with Luther. He's got to help.
Nice. We got to reach out to him. Karistan, what's going on? Mrs. Dumpster Helper, what's up? I hope you guys are well. Love your new setup. Thank you. I appreciate that. Dana, I've had 2 dumpsters impounded by 2 different cities in Southern California. Tell us a story, man. What city and what did they charge? And impounded for obviously franchise agreements, I would imagine. T Durbin, yes, the Max D I posted on Facebook. It is really nice. It's heavy duty. And it's hardly used with 2 brand new batteries that were covered under warranty. If you remember, I got my first rental a few weeks ago. I'm already having to order another dumpster Friday. Absolutely. Heck yeah, man. Keep growing, brother. Nice. Keep doing it. Heath Morgan says, do you have a list of franchise cities in Texas? All right. So, as far as I know, other than Dallas and Fort Worth, which are completely open, which is also beyond me. Like it's a huge city. I get that, right? But why are they open? Could they not? I'm not even trying to give them ideas, but if they were trying to line their pockets like every other city, could they not, section it off and say, okay, well, Waste Management has a northeast section or whatever, and Republic has over here, and you know what I'm saying? And why is a big city like Dallas open and every other small town around, every other small or big town around is closed and they do it? So I don't know. Any insight on that, Daniel?
Man, I don't have a clue. I would have responded to that, all of them. I didn't know Dallas and Fort Worth were open.
Yeah. Other than that, though, like even small towns like I lived in a small town, Red Oak, where I used to live. They have contracts, franchise agreements. All the small ones, as far as I know, have them.
Yeah. There are little towns around here, Honey Grove. They have one, and there's only, 1,200 people maybe. It's pretty small.
Yep. So Dylan actually answered it correctly as well. So it's pretty much all of them, again, as far as I know, except for Dallas. But most don't enforce it. Most do not enforce it around my area. I've only had several encounters now with Mesquite. I've had issues with Frisco. I believe Denton. But other than that, and Waxahachie gave me an issue one time. They just didn't want me to park it on the street, so I was okay there. He said he doesn't care, but I'm not here to say what he said, but just not on the street. So How about sending EDDR mail campaign, letting homeowners and business owners know they are being screwed by the cities, your dumpsters cost versus the city's providers. Have them start a recall campaign. I don't know what EDDR stands for though.
What a bad idea.
Not at all.
I'm assuming it's mass mail of some kind.
Yeah, I would imagine so. EDDR, that's not what that means. Every door, direct mail. Okay. Yep. Interesting. That is actually a really good idea. I'm going to go ahead and screenshot this because that's kind of how I save things that I want to save for later. But very good idea, Ron. Appreciate that. Wally Gone, what's going on? Gabriel Sanchez, Washington State has the same mafiosos running around there here prohibiting anybody from doing business. Washington State. My cabinet shop from Ryan says is in a locked up franchise city that they run their own trucks. Even though I own both companies, they still won't let me drop my own dumpsters and for our everyday trash. Unbelievable. Cause same situation you're in, like literally on your own property. I was told, so I was also in Lancaster, one of my old shops when I had my limo company. I was off of I-35. Literally, I was on the free frontage road, and that's the border between the city of Lancaster and the city of DeSoto. I was in the city of Lancaster, which was CWD, and then across the freeway, which is the city of DeSoto, was Republic. CWD sucked. They never picked up. I mean, they missed probably 30 to 40% of my trash pickups. However, they never discounted me anything. I used to pay, I think it was $90. I want to say it was $90 a month. It wasn't much, but they rarely came. They would come maybe, it's supposed to be weekly, and they would come maybe once or twice a month. So I wanted to switch over to Republic, and I called Republic, and they said, no, I mean, you're in CWD. You can't. Literally across the street, they refused to service me. So, and when I tried to, they did send me a letter, and that was from the city of Lancaster, but I was parking my own dumpsters in my yard, not really using my dumpsters because I didn't have enough trash to use up a whole dumpster, but once I told them that I was just operating out of there and I wasn't providing a dumpster for myself, I never heard from them again. But I thought that's kind of same situation, total bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, if it's his shop, he owns it.
Yep. Question: what do you do if someone orders a dumpster that's within a no-fly zone? Are those zip codes or cities just blacked out on your website? No-fly zone.
I've never heard of that.
Nope, I've dropped off at the actual airport. I literally drove onto Dallas's tarmac and dropped off a dumpster over there several times actually. So shouldn't be an issue. Can't fly a drone though. I learned that the hard way. I can't fly a drone in a no-fly zone. That's another story for another day. All right, we're just gonna catch up on these comments real quick, and then we're going to call it, man. Carl Chisholm, maybe the answer would be to vote out the council members and the mayor of those small cities.
Well, that's up to the citizens.
Right. Sitting here fuming, hearing about these stories, pure insanity. Here to help any way I can from Indiana. It's always the right time to do the right thing. 100%, man. 100%. Okay, this is true. So, Art, this is true. Dallas does have a 4% franchise fee. I'm not going to out myself, but I know lots of other companies that don't do that. Now, when I was trying to get an account at the city landfill, they required me. It was like a 6-month process. I went through the entire process, and I don't even know what ended up happening to it, but I was literally just trying to get the fast pass at the landfill, and they were requiring me to do the whole franchise fee thing. And you're right. So when I say it's open, it's actually not open. Like if you want to be an approved vendor at the city of Dallas, and I believe they have a list of their approved vendors on their website, you do have to pay 4% or a franchise fee. I'm taking you at your word, Art, that it is 4% because I honestly don't know myself, but I know it was a franchise fee. Same thing with the city of Garland. Garland did not say that I wasn't allowed to provide dumpsters in their city. However, if I wanted to continue to do dumpsters, I was supposed to pay them also a franchise fee. I believe theirs was about 5 or 7%. I had to show them proof of insurance, proof of workman's comp for my drivers. I think it was proof of auto insurance, proof of general liability insurance, and I believe workman's comp, as well as fill out their application. And then I had to give them, I believe, quarterly reports, which I did not continue to do that either. I'm not, going to sit here and pay anybody a percentage of my profits.
The city of Paris was 11. So,
Unbelievable.
yeah.
And most companies operate pretty lean, right? Like if you have a ton of trucks and a ton of overhead and drivers, I mean, a good business operates with a maybe 20% profit margin. Could you imagine paying 10% or 11% of those profits to another city? Yeah, I did talk to another guy the other day, and he was in Longview, I believe he was. And obviously, he said, his city was charging, and at the end of the day, when they did charge, he would just have to pass along that fee to his customers and say, hey, look, explain to his customers, I'm sorry, but, this is the fee for the dumpster. This is the fee for the city. They got to get their cut. They're getting their cut. And that was his way of letting his citizens in that city know that, hey, you're getting screwed by your own city because you're paying additional 8, 10, 12% on this dumpster because the city wants to line their pockets as well.
I'm totally fine with that. It's just the being told you can't run at all is what I have a problem with.
This topic is what led me to running for mayor. The city used their Facebook power to shame me by commenting on my business page to let everyone know they needed to use Republic. Oh, I'm screenshotting this. Sorry. No, I won't use this anywhere else, but this is nuts. I mean, I would be absolutely livid. You coming on to my business page to push your bullshit monopolistic agenda on my private business page. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, good for you, dude. Good for you for, everybody wants to sit there and talk and complain and bitch about things. And for you to actually run for mayor and do something about it. Hopefully when you got in, you were able to make a change for the better in that city. The problem is, again, that change is only as good as long as you're there, right? Because if the next guy wants to, go ahead and make the change, and all he's got to do is, change the ordinance again, and next thing you know, the city goes back to how they were, unless it's changed, I believe, on the state level. Again, I'm no expert. I'm the last one to pretend that I know anything about how to change laws and stuff like that, but I can imagine that that's the case, right? I mean, it's only as good as long as he was there, and then maybe if he's no longer the mayor and somebody else comes in and they see an opportunity for the city to, make more money, then they'll probably do it.
Can I speak on that right quick?
Please,
the contracts.
please help me out.
So this is my friend that was the mayor, and
Yep.
we're going after some towns. We're trying to get some contracts for our weekly routes, and I've dug into a bunch of city contracts now. I've went and talked to mayors of other towns, city councilmen. They have no idea what the contract says. And these contracts they typically go in 5-year intervals. So if that thing's up in January or end of December of this year, it will auto renew till 2030. The thing is I had a town that was going to switch to me in March because their contract was up in March. Well, they let Waste Connections know, Sanitation Solutions, same thing. Hey, we want to switch. We found a better service, cheaper rates. And, your contract's already renewed. You have to let them know in a 60 to 90-day window, and it's spelled out. It's not always the same, before the end of that contract. So if you wait till the end of the contract, it's already auto-renewed for another 5 years. And then 80% of the time after that renews, there's a new mayor in there, and they have no idea what the contract says. So I've already ran into this multiple times. We ran into it with him in his town. So now we're just gathering up contracts just to know when to approach a city to pitch them on a different service. Because if they don't hit that 2 or 3 month window, and they have to let them know in writing, certified, you can't just email them. If they don't do that, it auto renews and you're toast anyways.
So correct me if I'm, and I don't know if you're aware, but I mean, at the end of the day, like, especially in these small towns, right? Most mayors, and Daniel, I'm sure you would, or Daniel Harrison, you can also speak on this better than I could for sure. Most mayors in small towns are usually volunteers or part time. I know around here, at least in Red Oak, the guy was a veterinarian, and he's been like a 4-time back to back to back mayor, and he owns a veterinarian clinic, and he's part time. Literally, the mayor is usually not involved in the contract writing or the contract management. It's usually the city manager who's the actual hired on person for the city, I believe. So the mayors obviously have pull, but it's usually the city managers that are ones that are pulling the strings. Am I right?
Most of the towns around us, the smaller ones, anyways, they don't have city managers. They're all volunteers.
Okay.
But the problem is it when you have such a long term, 5 years, and then if it sneaks in there and makes it to 10 years, well, everybody's changed. Most of the city councils have changed, mayors changed, secretaries. Nobody knows what's in that contract.
Mm-hmm.
I've went to some towns and they'll sit there and tell me, "Oh yeah, we renew it every year," and I say, "No, you don't. You may vote on the budget every year, but you're not renewing that contract. I know what it says." And sure enough, I'll get the contract, and it's 3 years out from being renewed. And by the time I approach them, there'll be all new people in there.
Mm.
So it's a difficult game.
Well, they know what they're doing. They've been doing it for, like I said, decades, and
Yeah.
they've got a teams of lawyers behind them, and endless money to do this kind of stuff. Dana, City of Glendora was impounded by Athens Services. Oh, okay, here we go. No fly zone. He means no dumpster zip code. They're all no fly. I mean, if I don't know,
Yeah, all of them are.
basically, right? I mean, the other city was the city of Azusa, also impounded by Athens Services. So the dumpster company, he's saying, impounded the cities. Do you have a franchise agreement with any of the cities you operate in, Charles? I don't know if he's asking me or you.
No, do not.
Every open city in North Texas requires an agreement with the city and charges a franchise fee or permit fee.
That's not true.
Every open city in North Texas requires an agreement with the city and charges a franchise fee or permit fee. And they don't auto renew for 5 years unless it's said in that contract. Most have 5-year agreements with 1-year renewals till it goes out for open bid.
I've not read one single contract. Now this is for weekly service, commercial service, everything, not just roll-offs. I've read a good, I don't know, 8 to 10 contracts here lately, and all of them are 5 years. I did see one 3-year, but it auto renews for whatever the initial contract was.
So I wonder if, I mean, the only Charles, well, the guy who impounded my dumpster, I mean, it could be a coincidence, obviously, but you've got a Charles here who's obviously condoning or pushing on these city contracts. Charles, I wonder, maybe you can answer it. Is this the same Charles that impounded my dumpster in Mesquite? Please let me know, Charles. They don't renew, he's saying. Bidding starts 8 to 15 months before the contract ends. And Charles, if this is the kind of stuff that you condone, city manager and city attorney. Okay, city attorney. That makes sense. Typically, the trash company provides a contract and negotiates with the city officials. Trash company provides a contract. Of course, I have experience with doing city contracts, and I would love to have you on the channel as well, Charles. Let's talk about it. If you have that kind of experience, I want to know from both sides. I mean, I'm not trying to be. Obviously, I'm biased, right? I mean, I am. I mean, I'm not going to lie, right? At the end of the day, like I believe this should be open for business. I believe Texas should be open for business. I don't believe in monopolistic views. I don't believe in these overreach tactics by these government companies. Nor do I absolutely believe in these private companies enforcing being given authority by these cities to do whatever they want to do. So let me know, if you know more about this, let's talk about it. I would love to talk about it. I
Well,
would love to get more information from you as well on both sides.
I could touch base with Charles here. I live in North Texas, and I've got 5 contracts in there that all say there's a 90-day window prior to the closing of that contract. If you don't let them know, it's either within 60 or 90 days. There is differences there, but if that's not prior to the 90 days of the end of the contract, it auto renews for 5 years, and that's 5 towns in North Texas, Charles.
I would like. I mean, I don't mind seeing. I would like to see some of these. I haven't seen any of these contracts, to be honest with you. Especially these city waste ones that you're talking about, or the trash pickups.
Yeah, I'll share some info with you. Shoot you some pictures of it.
Charles said, let me see here. Where does it go? Experience with doing city contracts, and that he is not that Charles. Good thing, and it's fine if you are. I mean, look. The only thing I had against my guy Charles is the way he tried to grab my phone, and I believe he definitely tried to use scare tactics to get us to jump to his. When he says jump, we ask how high to jump to his call. And I wasn't about to do that. I'm not sitting here. I've never been one to kiss anyone's ass. If I'm in the wrong, I'm in the wrong. If I think you're in the wrong, then I'm gonna tell you I think you're in the wrong. And if we got to argue about it, then we're gonna argue about it. We're just gonna, respectfully. When I went to go see Charles and what's the other guy's name, Johnny, I was respectful. The minute he tried to snatch the phone out of my hand is where I said, hey, no, we're not gonna do that. You're not gonna sit here and get physical with me. Or try to snatch my phone out of my hand. That's not going to happen. So, but if it is, either way, I would like to talk to people who know both sides of it. Charles does know a lot. Charles said he sent me an email. I don't know. I've dealt with Rowlett, Seagoville, Plano, and others. I would love to talk to you, Charles. I don't know if you recently sent me an email or how long ago, but if you can resend me one, uh, if you sent me an email and I haven't responded, I apologize. I do get lots of emails sometimes, and sometimes I don't respond to them like I should, or a lot of them. So I've been a little busy lately, but please send it to me again. I would love to talk to you if you can. If you got time tonight, send me an email and let's talk. Because I want to know more. I do. I want to know more on both sides. And again, I want to know more, even if this is a dead end road, which it very well might be. But like I said earlier, I just don't feel like I'm going to give up anytime soon. I'm going to do everything that I possibly can and use a platform. I think I got several thousand views, and I hope to get a heck of a lot more just on one video. And this is not going to be a video. This is not going to be a series. This is going to be a journey. It's going to be I'm not going to give up. So I'm going to do it for me and for every other dumpster guy out there who feels like we've been wronged by these cities. So, and like Daniel said too, if we have to pay a fee, look, I've never owned a business where I didn't pay a fee. I owned a limo company where the city of Dallas got their cut. I owned a security company where the city got their cut as well. I get it. If we got to pay to play, then so be it. But let's make it fair for everybody, and let's make it a fair market. How do you prevent someone from booking a dumpster on your website that's somewhere you are not allowed to drop? I drop anywhere and everywhere, Delaware. I'm not going to allow the city to tell me where I can and can't operate. So you can, depending on your software, I'm sure you can turn off certain cities or turn off certain zip codes, um, which I do. Yeah, because if somebody wants a book in Fort Worth, I don't operate in Fort Worth. Hunter Harrington, how are you guys getting a hold of these contracts? That's all you, Daniel.
Just Freedom of Information Act. Go up to the city hall and tell them you want to see the contract. They gotta release it to you. You may have to fill out a form, but that's it.
How long does it take for them to give it to you? Like, is it right then and there, or they gotta?
I think it's 10 days, but some cities will just give it to you immediately, or you may have to pay for a copier, whatever, or they can email it to you. Like you can get it emailed right away. Just depends on how quickly they operate, but some of them drag their feet, some of them pretty quick.
Gotcha. All right. Well, we're almost done, man. My family used to be in the waste industry in California. Almost every city around here has exclusive franchise these days. Absolutely, another way for them to make money. Contracts are public records. Don't forget to hit that like button. And Dylan says, "Do it for me too. Let's fight. Do it with me, Dylan. Do it with us. Obviously, I know you're in it, man. Um,
Yeah.
I know you're in it. So, anyways, guys, with that, one more Freedom of Information Act request. Email is best so they don't charge you. Open records. All right, man. With that, Daniel, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you being here. For all you guys watching, thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, smash the notification bell. Please share this video. Daniel, any final thoughts before everybody logs off and moves on?
And let's push to what's the name of the page you started? I didn't even hear that.
It was the first comment pinned to the page. Let me pull that up real quick. We'll put it right there. I forgot what it's called too. Yeah. Waste haulers versus I forgot what it's called. But the link's right there.
Let's get as many people as we can signed up so we can try a different route. I'm tired of going to court by myself. So
and let us know, man. Talk to your attorney. I'm for real when I tell you I would I mean, if anything, just to go and show my support. I would love to do so. And who knows? I mean, maybe we get a room full of dumpster guys in there to show our support and kind of show that show your city that we won't back down.
What he thinks. We'll see what's going on.
I always like a good little road trip.
Yeah.
All right,
thanks
guys,
for having me. I enjoyed it.
Thank you again, man. We'll see you guys soon.